We're just trying to catch up, you know.
Okay. Welcome back to Battletech Oath of Endosteel, Season 4, Episode 19, 3047. Today, we're all Canadian. We're all a very friendly people who like to talk to each other. There was a question as to what we did last time. So, your father died, and you know that he probably didn't die due to the influence of an assassin. Instead, he probably committed, let's say, assisted suicide.
Fake news.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. This just got hard demonetized in the course of 10 seconds.
Just cut it out.
You just got it. Yeah, just cut it out. Start from
Then
now.
it won't make any sense to the audience. It's okay. It's all right. We're still here.
All right, man.
You launched an invasion force with whatever you had available and whoever would go with you from Whittington to Valentina. You have
Christmas.
lost 2 battles, you've won 1, and you've drawn 1. So things are going all right for you. Could definitely be going better.
It's not an invasion, though.
It's a special military.
It's a retaliatory expedition.
Okay.
That's another good album. That's a good album name.
Oh, yeah, retaliatory expedition. Yeah. Or a good mech name, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Did you miss us, AP?
No.
I'm sure you.
I released 4 episodes of Mech Battle for Oath of Endosteel Blades of Honor crossover, and now I feel like people are going to be satisfied for about 6 months, so why even bother having this episode? All right, we're shifting focus. Sam and Rad both agreed that they wanted to do a political battle before we went back to the mech battling. So I have 5 scenarios that were generated with the help of artificial intelligence. These scenarios are 2-part. All of them have a component that would allow the Federated Suns players and the Draconis Combine players to both attempt to accomplish a goal that is perhaps in opposition to each other. So, 5 scenarios. You will pick from 3 of them, and those are the scenarios I will run for you. The other group, Blades of Honor, has already picked their 3 scenarios. This setup guarantees that the 2 groups will definitely face off at least once, possibly twice, and upwards of 3 times.
Okay.
I don't know. Eric smiled and then he didn't smile. I don't know.
I like this AP. It's very like Art of War. Like, we need to know our enemy if we want to counter them. We have to pick
to perfectly count. We're gonna run all 3 scenarios. It's just your oppositions may be NPCs rather than.
I'm with you, AP. I'm just saying, in order for me to feel successful, I need to fight the others.
I see. At least one of the scenarios is actually cooperative with the Federated Suns.
Oh.
I will now list the 5 scenarios, and just know this is all we're doing today, so take your time to decide, and then you can just shitpost about Canada the rest of the time. Scenario number 1, called The Siege of a Noble Stronghold. In this scenario, the Federated Suns launches a full assault of a heavily fortified Draconis Combine's noble estate. The noble has critical knowledge of Combine strategies and must be captured. Meanwhile, the nobility of the Draconis Combine mobilizes their Mechwarriors and elite defenders to hold off the invaders and protect the stronghold. Now, to be clear, this is a on-foot, like, guns blazing, not a mech battle scenario.
Gotcha.
The objective is for the Draconis Combine forces to hold the manor long enough to evacuate this critical strategist for the Draconis Combine, and obviously the Federated Suns wants to break through and grab them. Scenario 2, Traitor among the Combine. A Draconis Combine noble family is suspected of secretly supporting the Federated Suns invasion. As the Federated Suns begins their assault, the Combine must investigate potential traitors within their ranks before it's too late. You select this mission. Your job will be to entice either the family of a nobleman, the noblemen themselves, or members of their court to join your in retaliatory, whatever you're calling it, raid, by providing material
Expedition.
support.
Oh my god. We should, an addendum to this mission would just be pick a noble house, pretend to stage a rescue mission, making them culpable as though they were helping us, and then the Combine attack them for being traitors.
I think that's an interesting proposal.
False flag.
The noble family has already been picked, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
The noble family will be the Baron of Hangetsu Bay, the Nosakis.
But in theory, that could still be like part of our plan to like get them on board, right?
It would be a multi-part deception for sure. You would need to stack the evidence against them pretty badly to get people to fall for this, but it's certainly on the table.
I mean,
Okay.
staging millions of C-bills of mechs for a rescue, I feel like would mean there
we
must
can
be
talk more about this if we pick it. But
Anyways,
like the way I'm imagining the best way to plant the false flag would not even be to like try to actively frame them. It would more be to like leave the trail of crumbs so that whoever's trying to investigate our actual spy finds the wrong one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's save that for a different one. Let's be proactive. I think I want to be proactive and actually maybe help what are they called? The Osaki? Sorry, the Bay folks.
Well, we have 3 more options, so let's.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying that's right now. That's my top one.
Nosaki.
What's
Nosaki? Thank you.
Nosaki. Rabbit.
Osagi. Thank you.
I'm writing it down.
All right. Scenario 3: reluctant allies against a common foe. A Federated Sons battalion and a Draconis Combine military unit are forced to temporarily join forces due to a more dangerous external threat, such as a rogue mercenary group or an internal Combine rebellion. It will be a peasant uprising on the world, attempting to shift Valentina to independent status using mercenary forces. The Uneasy Alliance must coordinate military action while dealing with political and military friction.
In the Combine?
Yes.
Mercs in the Combine.
Yes.
More likely than you think. Okay.
I mean, Rad specifically had the Blades of Honor guys hire mercenary forces to help defend the planet, which is the bomber that shot at Sam was Mercs.
Right. I didn't catch that he was a Merc.
Andrew's character is a mercenary liaison officer. He's been playing that up to attract more Mercs to the planet. Mercs in the Combine aren't impossible. It's just that they're mostly secretly just straight up members of the Draconis Combine that are, they want to get a little bit more pay. Like a private
It's Fernet and Chartreuse.
Yeah.
Surprisingly goes well together.
Scenario 4: political assassination. A high-ranking Draconis Combine noble is targeted by Federated Sons assassins as part of a strategy to destabilize Combine leadership. The noble's personal security forces and loyalists must defend the target, while the Federated Sons aim to assassinate the noble to weaken the planet's resolve. Scenario 5: espionage and sabotage. A covert mission by the Federated Sons seeks to disrupt the Combine war effort by infiltrating state media. The objective is to steal valuable military intelligence or sabotage key Combine facilities. You have plenty of time to discuss. You must pick 3 of these 5 options. At that time that you have picked your 3, I will reveal what the other cast has picked, and then I will send them a list of what you picked, so they know where the clash will take place.
Excellent. AP, do you mind just dropping at least like the titles for each in our chat?
These are the ones I wrote down.
So thinking
There was a mana recovery one.
thinking about like what we're best at, Celeste is low key like really fucking good at like on the ground leading troops. She has high tactics, she has leadership.
Whoops.
Rip.
Sam.
Got pretty good shooting skills, take some punishment. So if we're like trying to prioritize our skills, that is a solid one for Celeste to like take the front.
Sam, the DCMS tried to jam your signal for a little bit there, so we lost
Oh, you
a
lost
bit,
it.
but we got the gist of it. I don't think you have to repeat yourself, but just
Gotcha.
letting you know. Yeah, I'm thumbs downing the political assassination one.
Okay.
In my opinion, if we succeed, I can't help but feel like one of the players will use that to propel their clan to become leader of, of Valentina. So I feel like we shouldn't do that. That actually
That's so
produces
funny.
the environment that, you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
They're the deer and we just killed the wolf. You know, like let's not.
Yeah.
The other one that we
so
might
thumbing
low-key
down
be
that
kind
one.
of good at is the espionage and sabotage one. And I'm thinking
Yeah.
that
was
like
high.
between Athena and Angus, y'all actually like low-key have like a really good sabotage skill set, right? Is like because like
Yeah.
Athena's got all the technical know-how if we want to like mess with their systems and stuff. And Angus has like all of the underworld connections and can kind of
punching.
like and can punch people. So like if we, like if you want to think about it as like Athena is like sort of the person in the chair, in like the like
Are you thinking Mission Impossible?
like in the Mission Impossible sense, and like Angus is like the sort of like on the ground operative. Like I think actually that plays to our strong suits kind of well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We sabotaged the Valentina Vision finals.
And
Exactly.
I'd do it.
Celeste could be the like the one that's like getting in the doors and like doing the social engineering.
Yeah, true, because I have like really high charisma.
Yeah. So Ocean's 11, I think, is a better analogy in that sense.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be like,
Yeah,
you
that's
would
good.
be like Brad Pitt.
I'll be honest. The other one that I'm like leaning towards is I do think the one where we have to ally with the Draconis Combine would be kind of fun from a narrative perspective, especially if the other group ended up picking it, because like I love a enemies forced to be allies arc.
Yeah, I was on that.
I like it too.
I was on that same reason.
That said,
in fact,
go ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna say, in fact, I might rank that one as my top choice. My top choice.
Oh, okay, nice. All right, so Eric's top choice is 11.
Espionage is my second.
Okay. I don't, but like I know we haven't talked about it much, but I want to make sure we don't like dismiss the traitor one too out of hand, just because I think
do
that one
like-
would be kind of cool.
Yeah, narratively, I'm excited about that one because I like the idea of them having to like root out someone.
I
Or
agree.
us, and then, like us setting that up too. That sounds fun.
Yeah, my only concern is I'm not sure any of us have the
DCMS.
skills to pull that off.
Yeah.
Did you lose
I
me
mean,
again?
yeah, a little bit, but I mean, we've got some. We've got,
I think we got everything you said.
yeah.
It just dragged on.
I mean, traitor among the combine. To set up false flags and things like that, you can use a variety of different skills, right? You can, we can use social skills, and we can also use tech skills, and then we can use bureaucracy potentially, like trying to like block them from finding it because of like their own bureaucracy. I don't know. I'm just trying to be creative here with the skills.
Do we know anything about the Nosagi's AP?
Let's make a roll. Culture
sounds
of
pretty good.
Valentina.
Well,
Yeah, that's a 0 for
You
me.
always spend XP.
No,
Okay.
I don't have any.
You're rolling at a -1 on
I
this.
have culture great house. Would that help?
What great house is it? Is it the Federated
No,
Sons?
it's Fed Sons.
It
It's
doesn't
Fed.
say. I just have culture.
Yeah.
In parentheses.
It's
I just
good.
figured
I'm
that was
guessing
for
you
like
picked-
knowing nobles and shit.
Yeah, you probably picked Davian's, your own great
Yeah.
house.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
question for you, AP. I do have one skill point.
Okay.
Would that I can spend in?
Are you an
ranking?
expert?
I am.
And yes, you can put 1 point into culture to take culture
It makes sense.
Valentina.
That'd be
Makes
good.
sense. You'd be the one doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do intelligence, culture, Valentina. Roll.
It would be culture, Valentina. I'm just writing it down so I don't forget.
Yeah.
Turns out just before the invasion, you crammed in everything you needed to know about the local bureaucracy.
She is a student, you know. She's a scientist. She's the studier. Okay. Know thy enemy. The art of war.
Good Rage Against the Machine song.
All right, I'll grab these two right here. That's a 9? No, 8. 8 plus. So I have rank 1 in Valentina, which gives it a 0.
Gives you a 0.
And then I've got 12 int.
I believe that also gives you a 0. Okay, so 8. Let me pull up my Nosagi chart to give you some general overview. So this guy's been Baron for a while. His family has controlled Hongetsu Bay for centuries. He has a council as part of his court, and then he also has a group of samurai who work for him and enforce justice and the law. He controls all 5 districts of Hongetsu Bay personally and has invested his council into controlling like different districts. So the leader of the clan's name is Koji Nosagi, and then his son has recently arrived back on planet after having graduated from a military academy. His name is Shiro Nosagi.
Okay.
So some top players are Lord Cho of Clan Sung, who is his right-hand man. This is the person who executes his will most of the time. That guy controls the dock side of the city and, does all the internal investigating, anything that involves like affairs of state. Lord Cho is the one he goes to. You know that the Takeda clan nominally controls the industrial zone of the city. However, they're in a bit of a secession crisis right now. Their leader died during a dishonorable attack by one of their grandnephews. And in the process, they lost the Clan Takeda house sword, which was recently recovered by the samurai group, the Blades of Honor, and was brought back. And then the Takeda clan has now intermarried into the Blade of Honor's leader. So that's James's character is married into the Takeda clan as well. There are several other members of the council. I don't think it's worth it to bring that up right now. But there's also a pretty large Yakuza faction that has tenuous ties to the nobility. It sounds like the Yakuza faction, which is called the Shinsen Gumi, wants to get out of the business. However, there has been some kerfuffle in the news lately. The arms factory that was controlled by Akari Genji, she was punished for going off books and killing what was his name? The guy at the party that, and she burned his house down as well.
Is it just me, or as soon as you gave us that Yakuza faction, I just immediately think that would be Glebo's characters. I just immediately that's his characters for sure. Sorry.
The original Genji.
Yeah, the original Genji. Yeah. Yes. So Akari killed him, and as punishment for that action, her family's ancestral arms factory was taken from her. However, that arms factory, the union for it is currently protesting and appears to be made up either almost entirely of Yakuza or the Yakuza are really leaning on the workers to stop showing up.
Oh my god. So you're asking Federal Sun people to choose between allying with the Draconis Combine or a union.
AP is the person who is related to the Duchess that Lachlan took to the very first Kerensky ball.
Latour?
No, the woman that Lachlan took to the very first Kerensky ball.
Wow.
Is she still around?
She is still around, actually.
What was her name? Something
on it.
like Lake dash something else, I think.
Yeah, so she's still around. Her family has been repeatedly dishonored by their failures.
Oh no.
It's not been a good time. And I mean, you killed her.
Yeah, we burned her.
Burned the house down and killed her aunt and her mother and almost everybody. Her name is Haru Takao Moritomo.
That's who it was. Yes, I now remember that.
I
remember distinctly because I remember very early on in the game being like, oh, this is an interesting character that I think it would be fun for Lachlan to interact with. And then I kind of forgot about it until we burned her house down and then she sent Lachlan a message. And then I was like, oh, whoops.
So she's 51 now. She swore a blood debt against Yohei Genji, who is, of course, now dead. You've really fucked with her cousin, Shinji Moritomo Lake, who claimed to be the ruler of Whittington. And she openly conspires with the Yakuza to keep her family's finances afloat. So her social status has plummeted as a result of your actions.
Interesting.
So she probably really likes us. Yeah, that's bad. We really did not.
Is there?
It's like one of those.
Oh, you said one of those.
Like it's like one of those memes where like any NPC that like interacts with the player characters, their lives just get like progressively worse. That's definitely what happened here.
Oh my goodness.
So like Friends.
Yeah.
Or It's Always Sunny.
I was thinking Always Sunny. Yeah.
Priest,
we rickety cricketed this poor woman.
All right. Of the list that we have, is there one that like we can definitely say none of us want to do? In terms of narrowing down?
I'm also down on the assassination. So I think we can thumbs down assassination.
I wasn't really into that one either.
So six is off the menu.
We haven't talked about it much, but I really do like doing the idea of doing the siege because it like is like playing so much into like stuff that Celeste can do, and we haven't had a chance to see her do. But also,
that's the reluctant allies, yeah.
No, that was
talking about number 6, Siege of a Noble Strong.
Oh wait, literally siege, yeah.
But actually, the reluctant allies works pretty. It like also kind of fits that same niche, especially because like. With the mercenaries, we can like start to, because like the whole thing was that Celeste spent time in her youth running with mercenaries with her aunt, so like we could maybe tie some of that stuff in there.
Yeah, I do. I also like love the idea that there's some like that there's a third uprising happening in the middle.
Yeah,
it's serving serious like 1871 Paris Commune vibes. Which
okay, so it sounds like we definitely want to do reluctant allies.
It does. I mean, I like the idea of it because it's like a way for tension to form, whether positive tension or negative tension between the two shows and like the peoples that are intertwined.
Yeah, we can have a enemies to lovers romance arc.
Exactly.
The other group. Yeah. Fun. Okay, so it sounds like that's going to be our first locked down option of our 3 choices. Are you guys agreeing with that?
I think that's locked in.
Okay. All right, so we got 1 of 3. I also really like the espionage sabotage one.
I do too.
That's my number 2 choice. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just list them out right now. Mine are reluctant allies against common foe, traitors among the Combine, and espionage and sabotage are the 3 that I'm kind of eyeing the most.
So my only difference would be I would trade out the siege for the traitor. but I like the other two. I guess I'm just like not super sure like what role Celeste plays in the trader.
You have
The
a
trader one.
You have a +2 charisma bonus last time I checked.
That is a good.
Oh no, we lost the audio again.
The ECM that the Draconis Combine is emitting is so strong.
I think what I might have to do. I might have to finally give up on the Wi-Fi dream and line in this PC in my new apartment. But that's a whole nother story. Yeah, I guess like I do have charisma. I have the business skill.
Yeah, and I mean, I think making deals to mislead could be a way to, because I mean the Yakuza are involved here. We've got, let's see, we've got
like
old factions of our dad, or old connections of our dad potentially tied to the Yakuza. So like that's an in.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I can get enough of like the kind of fighty leading soldiers stuff between reluctant allies and espionage. So I'm willing to give up on the siege if neither of you two are into it.
Well, I think I'm more in line with the trader, but there's one piece of intelligence that could sway me into the other end. Mm-hmm. Given our grand strategic status, whatever you want to call it, are we better off? Like I'm thinking of this in terms of like a zero sum situation. Are we better off gaining an ally of +1, or are we better off giving our enemy a -1 by taking out the strategist? You know what I mean? Like, is it better that we get an ally and possibly that benefit? Is it better for us to get a crew of benefit, or is it better to deny our enemy an asset? Does that make sense?
I see what you're saying, and I think this is a good way of thinking about it, because the more you say that, the more I think like us trying to take away, give them a -1, right? Like feels like the more defensive move, and to me it feels like since we lost round 1, it's time to be more offensive, not defensive. And so I feel like planting a spy in their ranks feels like a much more like us trying to push the ball forward, even though it's maybe a little bit more risky. Yeah. And so I think like I don't think us playing defense wins us the game right now because we're down 1. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
Sometimes the best.
You are, yeah.
Yeah. Best defense is good offense.
Okay. I'm there with you.
So I guess if we lock it in, I know like that only took us 40 minutes of what's normally 2 hours. Do we want to like make some plans? How do you want to do this, AP?
So your choices, based on what I'm hearing, are traitor among the Combine, reluctant allies against a common foe, and espionage and sabotage.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 choices the Blades of Honor picked.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Yo, hey, look, that is truly awesome.
We've already won.
That's according to your criteria, we've already won. I'm so pleased with this.
Oh my god.
So this is definitely going to have to be some asynchronous sessions for sure.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
Makes sense.
I will probably want you guys to decide which one of these plot lines, like rank them 1, 2, and 3.
We did.
No, as to which ones you want to pursue in what order, and then I'm going to ask the other.
Oh no, I thought we did.
So hold on, actually though, Eric. Even though I like reluctant allies the best, I think putting it last is almost like the most interesting, because then we like have that. Like we have to deal with the fallout of mission 1 and 2 when we're trying to like team up in mission 3. You see what I'm saying?
I totally see what you're saying, and I'm sorry, AP. You're right. We need to discuss not just we're not just ranking them on uniform of vibes, but actually on like a strategic thing we didn't discuss. You're right. Okay, so I'm sorry. Keep going.
I was gonna say like I think the ranking of traitor, espionage, because that traitor potentially sets us up for espionage and sabotage.
So that's interesting, because sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was almost thinking like the reverse, right? Is that like if we have sabotaged their shit, it make it easier for us to
Find a trader.
like be successful in like planting a trader. But I also
That's a
see
fair
your
point.
point is like having a trader makes the sabotage mission better
But-
and potentially easier.
Conversely, setting up the sabotage could be a good like what do you call it, incentive. Like the trader should trust us and like can join us, you know, like we're making moves,
Oh, like we
Yeah.
can like be like, hey, look,
you know.
you need to join us. Like, look at what thing.
Yeah, like if they have a problem that needs solved, and if we could use the espionage network or whatever we solve to like alleviate their problem or something, you know,
Yeah.
in a way
I
that and
see.
to show that we can like, you know what I mean?
We can help them.
Use that
You
to-
scratch our back, we'll scratch your back.
Leverage.
sort of thing.
Yeah, we can leverage the W of the espionage, perhaps. But this is all speculative because I don't know. Maybe it's like completely inapplicable. Maybe their issue is like, you know, has nothing to do with. So
Well-
it's a risk.
But, I mean, remember the objectives though, because like according to espionage and sabotage, the idea is to create a neutralized. Oh, wait, okay, no, that's their objective. But our goal is to steal valuable military intelligence or sabotage key combine facilities.
And we
So-
can theoretically do both of those if we do really
Right.
well.
Yeah.
I feel like James has read every book on like counterinsurgency, and like all of these ones are all about rooting out traitors. So like I don't know how good we're gonna do. You know what I mean? I
That
feel
is
like he,
a
like, wrote the book.
hilarious take.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure he's like going to bed reading like I don't know whatever his name is.
I'm
What's
just
the guy?
counting on the fact
The guy
that
from Iraq, General not Schwarzkopf, whatever.
I'm just counting on the fact that we all have level 4 characters and they have level 2 characters to really help us out this round.
Technically, I'm level 5, so being an expert definitely is.
Jesus,
is
you're level
in my
5? That's like really high in this game.
Yeah.
Now, just to
Oh
know,
no, sorry. I'm close to level 5. I'm
because
close to
of
level
their victories on the battlefield, they have
Oh.
asked for, and I will grant them, a slight bonus going into the first opposed mission.
That seems reasonable. Yeah, they're in the lead. Okay, so my suggestion.
We lost him again.
No,
No,
just stop
I
talking.
stopped. That time I stopped
Yeah.
talking.
My video is frozen, so I can't tell.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm
That was just
still,
the
like-
sound of Sam's brain maxing out.
Exactly.
we heard the laptop fan in your head turn on.
Right? I'm just like really every time I think I've like made a decision on which one I think goes first between traitor and espionage, I then like I'm like, wait, but maybe
Yeah.
this would be better.
Well, I
With
do
the
feel like-
tiebreaker, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I do feel like we have the most information for a trader among the combine in terms of like what we can leverage from that perspective, and that can also aid the espionage and sabotage, right? So
Yeah,
I think
I'm that way
they-
too.
I think they can go either way. It doesn't really matter. We just have to pick.
I think traitor.
Okay,
Trader
yeah, I
should
mean,
be the one.
I kind of feel the same way. Is like it's kind of a toss up to me, and since you both are leaning on the traitor side, let's just go with that.
The truth is like we see scenarios of like there's odds that the traitor could help us with the espionage, and also the espionage could help with the traitor. So it's like at this point, it'll just, you know, like we're just kind of
Yeah.
So I think we're all, since we're all kind of slightly leaning towards the traitor one, let's just do that one.
Yeah,
That's our number one.
So I think for that, we need to make sure that we have a strong set of information to make sure that we're leveraging the things that we can. And because, yeah, like we want to find the mole, right? We want to make sure that we find a good mole that's going to potentially help us with espionage and sabotage, but also one that's going to be hard for them to root out and maybe help us in the long term.
Yeah, I mean, the dream is also like the worst case scenario is we're like blackmailing an unwilling agent, right? The best case scenario is we like manage to find like a true
get the-
believer. Like we managed to find like our Mon Mothma,
British guy.
you know.
Yeah, we get the head of the Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy situation. We get like the head of the British agency to be the fucking turncoat. Who's looking for the mole.
dream.
The guy who's looking for the mole is our mole.
And then in between those is just like the pure self-interest, like the person that's just like willing to play ball as long as we like pay them off or whatever. But the best case scenario is we manage to find like some kind of true believer in like taking down the powers that be on Valentina.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe finding information, because the right-hand man is the one that's doing the investigations in state affairs, if I understood AP. So like finding the right leverage to turn them, whether it's like what do they value, and how is there anything that they value that could be twisted.
I think so. This one, the trader one was the one that had like the Yakuza element, right?
Yes, the Yakuza are in play there.
I'm wondering if maybe like a good way of doing this is like Angus takes the kind of like underground route, right? And like tries to like investigate and like deal with the kind of Yakuza part of it and see if we can't sort of rustle up something good from that. In the meantime, while like Celeste and Athena kind of try the more sort of legitimate route. Does that make sense?
I think that does make sense. I like the angle of bringing the right-hand man out because something is going down with the Yakuza that's being instigated by Angus. So like they're already investigating the Yakuza. Angus is basically bolstering the angle that the Yakuza is going in. And then we come in and help the right-hand man find what they need to find. And we've basically got at least some... And like maybe we do that in a way that's like through proxies, so they don't know that it's going through through us directly.
I mean, Angus has already instituted a hostile takeover of one foreign gang. That could be like a pretty good route to go again. Just like have Angus show up and start like taking over the Valentina underworld and like forcing someone to deal with it.
Yep.
Eric, does that sound up your
That sounds
alley?
fun as hell. Yeah, for sure.
You're continuing your growth arc. I love this for you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad you're so supportive of my spiritual journey.
This time you're taking over a gang for good.
Good.
To help the family.
Damn it, Mr. President, I'm retired. I'm taking over gangs. Fine, one last job.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Angus stares into the camera. I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that works for me really well. You can even use me in that way. I almost as like a like leverage point for whatever the legitimate situation is going to, so I can help you on that end. This just feels extremely like Michael Connolly and Eamon Davila are coded, where one's doing the low road and one's trying the high road. So this is cool.
Yeah, that's definitely my thinking. I also think that if we do this, Angus, you need to come up with Eric, you need to come up with like a good like criminal alter ego for Angus, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
The mole.
I was gonna go with, my first thought was the bull dragon.
Oh man. Okay, so it sounds like we've got some good thoughts on the trader.
Okay, so that's number one. That's the scenario you want to do the most first.
Yeah.
What's number two?
I think
Espionage.
2 would then be espionage, so that we can do teamwork as like the fallout.
Okay.
And if we succeed in our trader and our mold, the hope is that we'll be able to then use that to gain a bonus in our espionage and sabotage.
Yeah.
The best case scenario for us, obviously, is like we win big in each round first. Honestly, though, the best case scenario for like drama is maybe either like a tie going into the third round or like, narrow wins that are costly for both sides. So everyone's pissed off going into the.
That would be ideal. Yeah. Yep.
I am going to ask, on the assumption that traitor among the nobility happens first, but this role will apply no matter what order it appears in. I'm going to ask that Angus make I'm assuming culture criminals what you're aiming for, right? It sounds like your way into finding traitors in the House of the Baron and Hangetsu Bay is to start among the Yakuza. So Eric will roll culture criminal with charisma to see who he can turn. Based on that roll, I'm going to give you a dramatis personae of characters and potential traitors. And it will be a more clear list of the structure of power of the Yakuza. A bad roll is a bad way to open up this scenario for sure.
Okay. Is there any way I can leverage strength where I just go to a gang and just beat the shit out of the strongest guy? So I go there like, hey,
Prison style.
Yeah,
Find the biggest,
who here is
toughest motherfucker in
who is
there and kick his ass.
Who here is who here is the baddest brawler of the Black Dragons? And then someone steps up and like, that's me, and I just go bam, bam, and throw his head into the wall. And like, wrong answer.
I accept this scenario, but if you get less than a 7, you'll be injured, and on a double ones, you'll be killed.
Okay, and then,
now that doesn't mean you can't get medical
fair.
attention, but you'll be mortally wounded during the fight. You know what I mean? Like whether it's you get your ass kicked or you just get jumped by so many people.
Is that worth it? Is that worth a +1?
yes, I think it's way more interesting for one.
Okay.
But
It's also how you've
I love
operated
this.
in
I
the
love this
past,
game.
just to be clear.
Yeah.
You've always asked to get the strength.
I'm so glad you all are super on board with prison rules.
Before you roll though, I do have one question for AP, which is I can't remember how helping works in this, but I do have leadership. Is there any way I can like make
You don't
a
have
kind of
culture
like
criminal
at
though.
the outset? Okay, I meant more just like for the group and for like it's like we're about to embark on stage 2. Can I make like some kind of leadership role to like make sure everyone's like on the same page? We have our plans together.
I think that will definitely apply to espionage and sabotage instead of
Okay.
this scenario.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hang on.
okay.
There was, when we were talking about like things about what happened in this game in the past.
Yes.
My character sheet says I'm at 8,100 out of 8,000. We're level 4, yeah.
I am level 4.
I'm just wondering if I actually am just sitting on leveling up, but I never leveled up.
What do you have your attack bonus at?
I'm a
where you'll
warrior.
You're a warrior, so warrior level 4 is 8,020. So you must have just hit level 4.
I literally then I
Yeah, especially because you'll
good.
Eric,
I thought
just
you said you were.
Look if you bumped up your attack bonus, because if your attack bonus is not showing as 3, you definitely didn't level yourself.
No, mine's not showing up.
Where's my attack
So-
bonus?
There's a
So it's on page
Oh, I don't
20
think
for you.
Yeah.
Or earlier.
the attack
Experts
bonus.
on page 18.
I need to
Attack
actually,
bonus
like,
3.
set it.
My saves become 10, 13, 12, 14, and 11.
Yes.
It's a big level for us.
Okay.
I didn't get those save bonuses yet. I get that 5.
I mean, I'm not changing my tack for despite not leveling up. I'm still doing this. I'm just wondering whether or not I should get a sufficient an extra bonus. Really.
Bonus for
It doesn't really.
Well, you'll get
How many
points.
skill
I mean,
points?
you get-
How many skill points do you get at this level? I don't have stars open with me right now.
We get, I think, 2 skill points every level. Let me look.
I can't afford to take a skill from 1 to 2, can it? At 2 skill points.
No, I think that
Like they cost more, yeah.
4.
Yeah. So I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so the answer is don't have to worry about it. I can't even raise my stat here, so I'm still rolling with just the straight to +1. That was the last question I had. Okay, and it doesn't matter. I'm gonna get mortally wounded rolling this anyways. So
What's your strength score?
14.
And
So I have a
then your
+1.
culture criminal?
1.
Okay, yeah.
So I have a +2.
+1. That's an 8.
7. No, it's a 9.
It's
Oh,
7
you
plus
said you had
2.
a +1.
One
My
for
culture criminal is one,
one
and
for
strength is one.
If your skill level is 1, you get a +0.
No, is your skill level?
bonus is 1.
Is
No,
your skill
no,
level
no.
1 or is your skill
No,
level 0?
My skill is 1. I've been ranking my skills at 0, so my criminal is 1, so it has 2. That's
Okay.
effectively
All
twice, right?
Understood. So
Yeah.
you have a 9.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Okay.
Not the coolest gang that I ran into, but
I
it'll
will
work.
give you some top level information now that may alter how you approach this scenario,
Nice.
because I know you guys don't watch Blades of Honor. So one thing to note is that the boss of the gang hasn't been seen in several months, and there are rumors that he's fine, but there have been a sort of leadership change and shuffle, and also the head of security hasn't been seen, and now nobody talks about him. So the other thing to note is that Akari Genji's mother just got divorced to her husband, and it has been
Husband
known
single?
for she's single, and it's been
No,
known
he's single.
Yes, he is also single. Hold on.
Okay.
He is the new heir of the Federated Sons Genji family. If they were to, so he was the original Genji who died, his brother, except he was essentially sold in a merchant deal to join the Draconis Combine with this woman, who it has been revealed, a generation later, she's got strong Yakuza ties. Now it's out and out. Like her association with the Yakuza of this town is no longer a secret. Her name is Akiyama Genji, and she's definitely part of the high-level officer corps, although her position is not currently known. So,
Question, AP.
Yes.
Are these both Akari's parents, or is...
Yes. Sorry. Akari's mother is definitely a Yakuza, and her father, who recently divorced the wife, is not a Yakuza. He is a DCMS retired captain, and he's currently on a talk show circuit talking about the morality and ethics of war and the next evolution of combat against the Federated Sons and the Federated Commonwealth, asking what the purpose of samurai warrior spirit is, asking about, is it worth continuing to arm up the border if there is no more conflict? Obviously, that has not gone well for him in the last few weeks because there's a massive raid on the planet.
Yeah.
So while his reputation as a peacemaker was starting to go on the way up, then his very famous brother on the other side of the border was murdered by his daughter, and then a retaliatory raid was launched on the planet, so his reputation down. Okay, so on top of that, that there are several officers of the gang, which include the following. I'm not going to give you their names. I'm going to give you their police call sign and their position in the gang. So it is known that the one called the Serpent is known as the number 2 man, which is exactly what it sounds like the executive officer, the person who gets things done.
Yeah.
The Enforcer, whose position is captain, has not been seen in several months. Some say he's been missing for as long as the boss has been missing. The Whisper is the legal counselor, the consigliere, essentially, if you wanted the Sicilian mafia term for it. She is the lawyer of the group, a former journalist, according to her police file. And there's also...
My cousin Vinny style lawyer.
There's also the Architect, who is their financial officer.
Briefcase, got it. That's awesome. It's a great nickname too. Okay.
There is no police file for Akari's mother, Akiyama Genji. So you don't know whether this is any of these people, call signs could be her. She could be an unknown number. The boss is known as the Big Cat, and his name is Kazuki.
Oh, okay.
However, again, he has not been seen in several months in public.
Interesting.
Big Cat is a great gang leader.
Yeah. So we got the Big Cat, the Enforcer, the Whisper, the Architect. What was the other one?
The
There was one
Serpent.
more. The Serpent.
That's so cool. Okay. So, do we want to? That's some pretty decent intel. Should we start finding leads on some of these people
Now,
to
before
start
you deep
identifying?
dive
Or?
too much into this, I would
Yeah.
like to know the general brush of how you're going to use these Yakuza to secure a trader within the Combine. Is your intention to flip them to the service of the Federated Sons as like a double agent sort of deal?
I feel like that's jumping the gun right now.
I'll say, I don't know if you
Ultimately-
remember it, but in Oath of Endosteel's earlier seasons, there was a member of the Yakuza who was working with, or at least working around, Sebastian Bassett, who was like moving personnel and guns from the Draconis Combine into the Federated Sons and was causing you guys some trouble. Then he finally got pinned for murder and he disappeared out of nowhere and was never heard from again. So you could do something similar where you turn these guys and they, you know, help you insert loyal agents onto the planet for future raids, or run guns for you, or, you know, like sabotage shipments, help stuff fall off the rails, or just act as an early warning system to be like, hey, the local military looks like it's gearing up for a raid, just be aware the other side of the border could get hit. These are potential things that I'm offering you, but you guys are creative and vengeful, so don't let me paint the brush of how you want to fuck these people up.
Well, I mean, originally, I think that my intention with going the Yakuza angle was not necessarily turning them directly, but having an into the noble sphere to influence someone even higher. But I think that's kind of where maybe Sam and myself, like, taking the higher road of trying to find alternative or someone like close to the leadership could be interesting. I don't know. What do you all think about like the different angles? Because I know we talked about going two different, like a two-pronged approach.
Yeah, that works for me. I mean,
So
if these people are like, I mean, if the people were, yeah, no, I think that works.
Should we think about any interest in figuring out what happened to
the boss.
yeah.
I mean, I think because there's two people that are kind of missing, right? There's the head of security and there's the boss. So I feel like in some ways the potential of the Yakuza being infiltrated themselves is high because head of security is gone. Which means that we can use the Yakuza in some level to spread false information for any investigations that are happening against the Yakuza, which like there's the whole union protesting at the Ancestral Arms Factory for Akari Genji, which means that there's definitely an investigation of what's happening there, which leads us to the right-hand man, potentially, who's leading that investigation.
Now, I want to clarify that the Yakuza are not part of the noble court government in the
Right.
way that you would understand it. They form a second, very real shadow government that controls a large amount of labor operations and import-export They are, for all intents and purposes, a completely second government within the Draconis Combine, and the two societies do not interact well. They more or less kill each other when they have the opportunity. They are not unified in the way that many criminals in the Federated Suns end up just becoming politicians. So if you were putting a spy in government, the Yakuza are the second branch of the government, essentially. But they will not get you an in with a noble, for instance.
Yeah.
It would probably do the opposite. It would make it, if your associations
Impossible.
with the Yakuza came up, it would make it nearly impossible to get a meeting with the noble.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like two perpendicular pillars of power or pyramids of power. Yeah. They absolutely do not cross that way. Yeah. They're deniable. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of why I think maybe the angle, if we're trying to get into the above board government in the Draconis Combine, like not the Shadow Gord, is plant seeds of drawing out one of the nobility, so that we can then find a way of turning them. I think that's the main question I have, is like, how can we do that? Like, what information do we have to turn someone in the nobility?
I think using the Yakuza to get blackmail information on a noble is certainly within the purview of this campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, that's what they do, essentially, is they purvey vice and illegal activities. So they probably have a list of what everybody's vice is.
Yeah,
like Las Vegas.
I mean, and you know, I think the right hand man. Again, I don't know why I'm like focused on them. I think it's just because like they're the ones that I have. The sun as well could be an interesting play. A Shiro. But yeah.
Okay. That gives me something to work with.
Yeah, I think like finding blackmail or the vices and then being able to leverage that to like be like, hey, your honor will be destroyed if we reveal this or something like that. I don't know. Depends on how you all want to play it.
Occasionally over the last few minutes, you've occasionally been smiling, making notes, and nodding your head. I'm just curious if you're cooking up anything in particular.
No, I'm just you know, just in the background here, trying to make it, trying to think of ways I can actually help on this one. I don't have anything concrete yet, though.
Okay. This is all I require from you guys. If if you want to keep talking, we can. If you want to divide the group up and we're done here, that's also fine. It will probably take several days to hear back from... Yes, Amore, come here. Come here. Yes, you're the worst cat. No one likes you.
Oh, poor Ray.
Yeah, she's fine. Don't worry about her. It will probably take several days for the Blades of Honor crew to make their decision, and at that time I will let both groups know what the first scenario will actually be, and talk about how we will do the first steps of each group, which will be like a prep phase before your team deploys on the mission to give yourself the best angles.
Okay.
Works for me.
Eric's excited. Yes, Amore. Yes, yes. Very special.
She's small and hungry.
She's also not... There's no way...
Is she also looking for her brain cell?
...is hungry. There's no world in which this cat isn't feeding regularly.
That cat looks like it has never been fed in its life.
That is a lie. You are a liar, sir. Now, she may have never been brushed in her life, apparently.
Yeah. It's that time of the year for cats.
It's not warm enough for you to be shedding, Amore. That's all I'm saying.
It's pretty warm today here. I don't know what the weather's like up
30
there.
mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, really? That's what we had yesterday. But now it's 58 and sunny. So I should probably go outside, but it's a shame that I don't feel like it.
I mean, I guess we could talk a little bit about espionage and sabotage if we want to. If we've got some ideas,
Sure.
or we're still mulling over the
So
Trader
the thing to
Combine.
note is that Draconis Combine doesn't have independent media. All media is state controlled. So as a result, the media corporations, you know, while they might present conflicting views, it's a very controlled conflicting. And high-level officials in the media corporations are essentially they're essentially politicians to some extent. And so their access to confidential information is higher than what one would expect from a normal media.
Okay.
Yes, I
State
know.
run. Could it be? Yeah. The shadow state could be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what AP is doing because my video has frozen once again.
Yeah, I'm
So
petting
I'm
this
just hearing-
cat, and she keeps either sticking her butt in my face or sticking her face on my face and forcing my neck to go sideways.
That is
Wants your
She's a
attention.
literal pain in my neck. Also
some
shedding.
classic cat shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any other thoughts about espionage.
Same.
I think we kind of got to.
Feels like the energy level has plummeted right now. you
I
guys
just feel like we
burned
kind of got
through
to
it
get.
early. Yeah, like you absolutely have been going hype for about an hour.
I just feel like we kind of have to get through mission 1 before we can do much planning for mission 2.
Yeah, I agree to that to some extent.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can't wait until both groups have to team up, and then I'll try to schedule one-on-one sessions to pair each of you with a member of the Blades of Honor, and then like the two of you have to get through the mission while working together, but also you could secretly betray the other person. But if you do, they could warn the rest of the members of their team, and then your team could be the one betrayed. We'll do it
Watching-
Among Us style.
What if?
I was
What
going to
if I
say I've been
destroy their
watching the show
comms?
The Traitors and
Or like Secret Hitler.
Oh,
apparently there's a game that's like basically like that kind of same social deduction called Blood on the Clock Tower that's supposed to
Yes.
be really good.
Yeah. It is really good. You can watch No Rolls Barred run it. They do some Zoom sessions that aren't as good, and they do some live in-person theater sessions that are incredible.
AP is good at those games.
I am bad at those games, don't lie.
No, I see that. I don't know if I agree. I feel like
I want to be
you're hard
extremely
on
clear.
yourself.
There was a moment where these two motherfuckers, EricVulgaris and Sam, followed me around. They both killed somebody right in front of me. I ran away. Someone buttoned or found a corpse, and Sam and Eric both go, it was AP. AP did it. AP did it. AP did it. They just kept saying it for a solid minute. Everyone voted me, even though I go, those two did it. And now I'm in the fucking graveyard fuming. My team easily lost that match because these two motherfuckers were just, they blamed me.
That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Is in that moment, Eric and I knew that if we left you in play for long enough, you were going to out you're good enough at like rallying the group and figuring out who the bad guys are that you just got to get rid of you as early as possible.
It was traumatic to know that the two of you could yell it was me and no one would believe me and instantly kick. Just instantly everyone voted.
I do feel like that is like it's like an interesting phenomenon, but it's like a huge thing about those games is sometimes just like the first person to get the finger pointed at them, there's just like nothing they can do. Is like it just being first is like all that you need. It's a very interesting phenomenon.
well, and it's especially when you have like a group of people pointing fingers, like where
Yeah, right.
If
Like if you have a united front that just immediately goes like that person, you like kind of don't need any actual evidence, right? You can just be like everyone has everyone has like this kind of nebulous concept in their head, and you've immediately focused them at something, and they don't have like enough context or enough evidence of their own to refute, so they just kind of go with the first thought. It's an interesting phenomenon that you can play with in those kind of games, and you can see it like in all of like the like TV show versions of these games. It like happens all the time in Survivor too. Is like the first person that like the group thinks about just ends up getting kicked out without really any reason.
A game that I've wanted to try, but haven't yet really gotten a group together yet, is Project Winter. Have any of you all played that one?
I've seen it, yeah. Hololive did a bunch of Project Winter streams. So
Yeah,
it's essentially one or two people serve as traders in the Canadian wilderness. You are part of like a helicopter crash group or something like that, and the other two members are like abominable snowmen ghosts or something like that. And so they have to work together to kill the other members, but they can do so like physically chasing them down and murdering them and using their alternative comms. But if you also prevent people from getting back to the forestry station where there's a fire, they can just die of frostbite and fall over.
Yeah,
That is a horrifying setup.
Yeah.
That is like a
Wait until you hear the best
horror
part.
movie.
You can transform into other people, right? But since it's open voice comms, it'll be really obvious if you talk that you're not the person you say you are.
Oh, that's pretty.
yeah.
Which has led to some people who intentionally stalk and kill people with similar voices so that they can pretend just long enough, because if the ghosts get next to you and start attacking you in melee, you can't escape it. You know what I mean? You can only call for someone else to help you. So if you let someone approach within killing distance of you, you just have to hesitate long enough to have that happen and you're fucking done.
Yeah, there's some pretty wild scenarios, and it's kind of a survival thing because you have to go out and get
Supplies,
firewood
and you
supplies.
have to accomplish missions like normal, you know, like two
yeah.
people
There's
are
like-
needed to open a door to get a battery or something like that.
Yeah, exactly, because you're trying to set yourself up to like get a rescue. So it's intense. I don't know. I like the concept of it, and I'd be very curious to see how y'all play that game.
Like a coward.
But anyway, I digress. I mean, I feel like we're pretty set on at least our initial steps for the trader among the combine.
Ally with the Yakuza, find a way to influence the nobility, get a traitor on your side.
Pretty much, yeah.
And Eric is inserting himself into the Yakuza situation undercover, not as a Federated Sons noble, but as a street level gangster.
Yeah.
All right. Now I do need to mention that in order to prove that you're a Yakuza, the first thing we're going to check is that you have tattoos. And fresh tattoos you just got yesterday are going to be real fucking obvious.
I'm honestly shocked that Angus wouldn't already have tattoos.
Honestly, yeah.
Why didn't we think
just
of
have
this?
any tattoo. You need to have specific Yakuza language coded tattoos. You know what I mean? You have to have the Irezumi. Your whole chest is basically a tattoo indicating the history of your gang. And then as you and the gang become more storied, the rest of your body fills it in.
Oh.
So
May have made a huge mistake.
I would like to propose that this was the plan all along, and that Angus got tattoos months ago to infiltrate.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yeah, but like, do we have like?
I also like the idea that you maybe had an in of like which tattoos to get because of your gang affiliation.
That is true. He has spent a lot of time working with criminals.
Yep.
And I also love the idea, the slight, the joke. Would it be too on the nose if it was like a smoky jaguar, you know?
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Just saying.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Dusk leopard.
As a
As a
result,
tattoo?
I am going to reward you by saying that's okay, but I'm going to punish you by saying you must now write the history. It doesn't have to be 40 pages, but I would like a paragraph about the gang of origin you've chosen. You know,
Okay.
like
my.
what planet it's from, its like basic tenets of honor or whatever, and what its business is. So that when you infiltrate the group, you know, they're an arms dealing business and they're looking to go legit. What's the story behind your smoking Jaguars?
And Sam, just to like brainstorm a little bit about
The
our
mist
angle
lynxes.
above. Yeah.
Yeah. The miss.
I like the idea that Angus is essentially finding us dirt and information from the shadows, while I'm helping coordinate like meetings or like clandestine, like moving around the culture of Valentina with you, and you're basically put in the right place to talk to the right people, to try to turn them in some way, shape, or form. We could do it via leadership as well, where you essentially have someone else go through, but that might be a little bit less.
I also have persuade, so it's fine. I can use that.
And a +2 charisma bonus, just to be clear.
Yeah.
I didn't forget this or last time.
And yes, yeah. As we've noted from before, Celeste's like charisma is not like, you know, being able to like, you know, really persuasively talk to people. She's just kind of one of the world's shiny people, right? You know, she's just very like attractive and charismatic, even
And
though
like
she
Paris Hilton in the early 2000s.
yeah.
Couldn't get rid of her. She was fucking everywhere, man.
I feel like
remember
honestly,
that?
like
Yeah.
that probably applies to like a huge number of like Hollywood celebrities, because that's kind of like why they end
The
up
Rock?
there, is like people just like get in a room with them and like want to do stuff for them. But
Now we give them
I
TV
don't
shows.
know.
What's the show
my.
about? Whatever I do. All right. This feels like a good stopping point.
Yeah.
I'm going to give everyone 500 XP.
Yes.
Sweet.
More XP for the XP guys.
Generous. You didn't have to do that.
Curiously,
Oh, I'm so far from a level anyway.
Yeah.
I did have. Where was that? Where was it? Here it is. I did have. No, I guess. I mean, I had a goal that I think might align with this, but maybe not.
I mean, I think we're going to reform our goals based on how each mission. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably you'll be awarded XP based on success or failure of the mission rather than.
Fair. Yeah, I guess. Did we give XP for the previous missions as well?
You mean for
I'm pretty
the...
far away. I'm a couple thousand experience points away from.
You got 500 here. You got 500.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
You'll be all right.
No, I was just trying to see if I can get to level 5.
How are we set for 2 weeks, which I think is the 25th?
Oh, I believe no. 25th is a Tuesday. It's the 23rd. Yeah, I
Yes,
should
23rd.
be
You're correct.
good. I think I'm good for that.
23rd. Yeah, I'm all good.
I'm traveling at the end of the month, but I think it's the week after that, so I should be good.
EricVulgaris, you're nodding. Is that nod an assent?
No, it's a protest nod. No, for sure. I'm gonna have to figure out what my goals are for these ones going forward.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that we probably won't have personal goals. You'll be awarded XP based on the success or failure of the mission.
Oh, so we don't like. I thought that was like going to replace like advance the Duchess's goals or something like that, but then also have a personal one
I'll
as well.
just be like, you get 1,000 if
just
you
straight
succeed,
up.
or 500
Got
if
it.
you fail.
Cool. That makes it easier.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. Gotcha.
And
okay, that makes more sense.
Just to be a little fair to the other group, their XP will probably be a little higher than your XP because they're so far behind you. I think even if they lose, their lose XP will be higher than your lose XP because they'll be gaining so much more from the experience of facing such a tough foe. Like a Saiyan. you become stronger if you just lose to somebody who's stronger than you. That's how it works, right?
Kind of.
There are more of them though, so you know.
Logic.
There are more of them.
Maybe
There's
he
only
just
3
likes
of them.
them better. It's fine.
Oh, is there? Oh, my
Yeah.
bad.
James, Rad, and Andrew. Like
Maybe he
them
likes
better?
them better.
We've been doing this show for like 4 or 5 years, and then we've been doing that show for like 1. What do you mean I like them better?
That's why you keep
I do like
giving
them
all
better because
these
they're the newer show, and you always
advantages.
love your youngest kid more, right?
Yeah.
That's why I
True.
love Battletech Below the Cut Down more than I like either of these old dusty shows. Incredible. God.
Well, on that fine
Yeah,
note,
old men, let's get out of